Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to Novation. I'm Shantanu and I welcome you all to the second part of our XAT critical reasoning sessions. And friends, today also we are going to do many practice questions which will be really important, and I want you guys to please focus on how I'm approaching those questions and how I am solving those. ऑलराइट सो अगर आपने फ्रेंड्स फर्स्ट पार्ट नहीं देखा है तो प्लीज़ आप उस फर्स्ट पार्ट को भी देखिएगा. इट्स लिंक इज इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन सेक्शन एंड ऑल्सो ऑन द टॉप राइट कॉर्नर ऑफ द स्क्रीन. इन दैट फर्स्ट पार्ट आई हैव एक्सप्लेन वेरियस टर्म्स लाइक फैक्ट्स, इन्फरेंसेस, अजम्पशंस, आर्ग्यूमेंट्स. सो उनको जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है, इसलिए प्लीज़ वॉच द पार्ट वन ऑल्सो. And as always, you can contact me on these social media platforms if you need any help or you need any, you have any query in your preparations. Also, please do visit novation.in where you can get various quizzes, the video resources, and also अगर आपको Novation का content अच्छा लगता है आप Novation को donate करके support भी कर सकते हैं. Alright friends, so let's jump straight into the session. Also friends, slides पे थोड़ा ज़्यादा text हो सकता है, इसलिए I will request you that please watch this session on your desktops or laptops. So friends, I'm going to read the small paragraph and then I'll solve the question. You can do it with me or you can pause the video and try it by yourself. Alright, so let's begin. Empirical observations told us years ago that goats were slowly becoming the new dog. Okay, and according to a new study, they are truly qualified to be man's best friend. Okay, so they are goats are becoming like dogs or pet animals. Okay, the Royal Society released a heartwarming research showing that just like humans, goats have no desire to interact with people who come off as angry or upset. Okay, so goats also don't like people who are angry or upset, and they are much more attracted to those with big smile plastered across their faces. Okay, so they are attracted toward those happy faces. So when 12 males and 8 females were released into a pen decorated with images of happy and angry humans. Okay, so these are 12 male goat and 8 female goat who are shown images of happy and angry humans. The scientists learned that goats can distinguish between happy and angry images of the same person, and in general they prefer their human to be happy. Okay, so same person का अगर उसको happy image दिखा जाएगा या angry image दिखा जाएगा, goat can understand that they are happy or angry. Okay, and they will prefer that the same human should be happy. Okay, so which of the following statement is definitely true according to this passage? Okay, so we need to find a statement which is perfectly true. When they look at a smiling person, the goats are happy. Okay, we actually have a line here which shows that they are much more attracted to those with big smiles plastered across their faces. So if someone is like the goats are attracted, can we surely say that they are happy also? Maybe or maybe not. So I'm going to check more options, but I'm going to keep it aside for now. When they look at a straight face person, goats remain passive. Friends, यहाँ पर passive face के बारे में तो मुझे बताया ही नहीं गया है, तो this is perfectly wrong. When they look at a frowning person, goats are afraid of him. Okay, so we know that they do not prefer angry images. So are we sure that they will get afraid of him? Like we don't know, right? We are not sure कि angry person को देख के वो कैसे react करेंगे. We know that to happy persons they are attracted, but we don't know about the frowning person. So I cannot choose this. When they look at a frowning person, the goats are sad. Again, the same problem. I'm not sure whether they are sad or not, because for angry persons, I'm not given any factual information. I have the factual information for happy faces. So I'll reject this. Next, when they look at a smiling person, goats run towards them. Friends, I cannot perfectly infer such kind of information that they will run toward him. They can also stand or they can walk. Like there are various cases. So I'm not definitely sure about this. What I can only be assured about it is the first option. That also is like one of the best option among these, but not a very perfect option. So out of all those 5, 1 is the better option. Next, an accurate measure of drug efficacy would require comparing the responses of patient taking it with that of patients taking placebos. Okay, so friends, whenever a drug is tested for, let's say, COVID-19 vaccine is being tested, they are tested on two type of people. One who are actually given that vaccine, and one those who are given a placebo, or they were just told that yes, this is a medicine and we are injecting it. But actually, that is not a medicine. That is something else which is not related with the actual drug. So that is called placebo. The drug effect could then be calculated by subtracting the placebo responses from the overall response. Much as a deli counter worker subtract the weight of the container to determine how much lobster salad you are getting. Okay, so they are making a comparison. Like whenever you buy something, the shopkeeper, what he does, he keeps a pan on the weighing machine, and then he weighs whatever item you are purchasing, and then he removes the weight of the pan on which the thing was kept. So that is how this was related to placebos, that we remove the actual responses of the drug and remove the placebos. Okay, in the last half of 1950s, this calculus gave rise to a new way of evaluate drug, the double blind placebo controlled clinical trial. Okay, so double blind हो रहा है यहाँ पे, देखिएगा ध्यान से. In which neither patient nor clinician knew who was getting the active drug and who was getting the placebo. Okay, so double blind का meaning ये है, ना ही patient को पता है, ना ही clinician को. Okay, which of the option is wrong answer to this question? How does a double blind ensure a better trial of a new drug? Okay, so we need to find the wrong answer to this question. How does this double blind system ensure that the trial of the drug is better? So let's find the answer. It gives rise to an unbiased testing of drugs. Yes, friend, it is right. Since both of them don't know, like it is double blind, it will lead to a unbiased estimation. So this cannot be my wrong answer. I need to find the wrong answer. So this is not. The clinician cannot pick and choose patients to whom placebo can be administered. Right, this is the an extension of option 1 कि unbiased testing करना है हमको. So nobody knows किसको दिया जा रहा है. So this is again not a wrong answer. So I'll remove this. It reflects the calculus exemplified by Delhi counter episode. So we know that yes, this is actually analogous to the Delhi counter episode. So this is also not wrong. It increases the overall response to the drug. Okay, friends, the response of the drug is inherent to the property of drug. Drug कितना अच्छा है, उसका response कितना अच्छा है, वो drug पे depend करेगा, ना ही placebo पे या the method of giving the trials, that is the double blind. So this is actually a wrong answer. Hence, this is my correct answer. Wrong answer because we need to find the wrong answer. Please be very aware of it. The patient does not know whether he or she is getting a placebo. So again, this is a extension of unbiased testing. So this is also not wrong. My correct answer here is 4th, which is wrong answer to this double blind question. I hope this is clear. We'll move forward. So you can pause the video, try it yourself, or we can go ahead. Alligators are freshwater reptiles. However, people have come face to face with them in mud in salt marsh in Georgia. Okay, so alligators live in freshwater, but they have been found in salt marsh in Georgia also. Finding alligators in the salt marsh is not a mystery or a miracle. At least 23 species of predator have been spotted living in surprising habitats. Okay, so this is not miracle. कई सारे species ऐसे surprising जगह रहते हैं. Predators such as alligator, otter, mountain lions, wolves and raptors are thriving in places they shouldn't. They are thriving. This is an important word. They are living, and they are living nicely, revealing some serious misunderstanding about their behavior and how to protect them. Okay. Scientific literature divulges that these creatures are actually returning to places they once occupied. Very, very important line. So this shows that earlier ये वही जहाँ पर ये लौट रहे हैं, these were the places where they actually used to live some times ago. Okay, it gives us astonishing insights into the lives of animals and help conservationists improve the old stomping ground of these creatures. Old stomping ground यानी कि जहाँ पे वो पहले रहते थे, उनको conservationist they can save those places or improve those places. Okay, so let's see the question. Which of the following statements provide the most plausible explanation of the predator's behavior? Most plausible यानी कि सबसे अच्छी explanation बताना है to explain the behavior of the predators who are going back to the places where they used to live once. Okay, so this is the behavior and we need to give an explanation. So let's see the options. The first is predators are fully aware of where they were born. Okay, so the problem here is with born. This is not a correct explanation. Why? Because it is possible that alligator is born in fresh water, but he goes back to, let's say, salt marsh land. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're born there. Okay, so it's not a plausible explanation. Predators prefer to occupy different habitats depending on the season and prevailing weather. Friends, this is also not correct. Why? As I told you, they are thriving in those places. It's not like they are going for like one season, they are going there and coming back. They are thriving in such places, which are very surprising. So this is also not correct. Predators have a genetic memory of their traditional stomping grounds. This is a very good option. Why? Because this shows genetic memory. So let's say my forefathers lived at some place, and if I have in my genetics some knowledge that they were living at that place, I would think that yes, I can go and live at that place. It might be suitable for me. So this looks to be a very good option. Predators have no awareness of where they were born. Again, if we talk about like being born, it doesn't make sense here. Predators migrate to habitats different from where they were born. Again, the same thought goes that if an alligator was born in fresh water, it doesn't matter. Then he can go and live into a surprising place even if he was born at a different place. So this doesn't give me a plausible explanation. The only plausible explanation seems to be third. All right, so we can move ahead. Fourth, dense, dirty air laced with grease best describe the atmosphere of most Lagos streets. Okay, so the atmosphere doesn't seem to be nice. Drive from one corner of this great West African city to another, and in no time you will find surfaces lightly dusted like soft sprinkling of icing on the cake. Okay, so I hope आप लोगों ने भी महसूस किया होगा. Like if we go from one place to another in that city, it is showing that there will be a layer of dust on your car or whichever vehicle you're driving. Under the half moons of fingernails, thick grime settles. Okay, it's a scene taken as typically African, polluted, bedraggled, and unhealthy. This has only ever been made possible by the exploitation of Africa's people. So this was possible due to continuous exploitation of African people. This week, 5 West African countries, Nigeria included, announced plan to end the practice of European oil companies and traders exporting African quality diesel. Okay, so let's understand what this is. So what basically African countries are now they are not going to export this African quality diesel from European oil companies. Dirty fuel has earned the name because it is imported diesel with sulfur levels as high as 3000 parts per million when the European maximum is 10 parts per million. So what is happening? The fuel which European countries are sending to African countries, it is very dirty. It's having a lot of sulfur content, due to which a lot of dust is in the atmosphere. So that is called the African quality or dirty fuel. To be clear, African quality fuel is fuel not fit for European humans. Okay, so whichever quality is not fit for European, they are sending to African people. This is like kind of a lot of disgrace to African people that they are being sent such kind of fuel. So let's see the questions. Which of the option is not necessarily the underlying assumption of the author in the paragraph above? So friends, अगर आपने first वाला video देखा है, you must be knowing what assumptions are. So assumptions are not explicitly stated in your paragraph. हमें explicitly नहीं दिए जाते हैं, उनको बोलते हैं assumptions of the author. So let's see them one by one. Economic exploitation until challenged runs smoothly. Okay, so guys, is this an assumption? No. Why? Because we have been told that this has only ever been possible by the exploitation of African people. So yes, author has clearly mentioned that there is some kind of exploitation going, and how we know that it is an economic exploitation? Because countries are like African countries are exporting oil from somewhere else, from European countries, so they must be paying back to them. So this is related to economic exploitation, and they have challenged it because you see that they are now not going to they have ended the practice. So this is not an assumption, this is clearly stated. European oil companies dump their fuel on African countries, right? They're dumping the bad or lower quality of fuel to African countries. So this is not an assumption, we are clearly given that. Typically, African cities today are not fit for human habitation. right? This is also given, like, you drive and like it is going to be a lot of dust, so which is very unhealthy for humans. So this is also not an assumption. African nations has accepted dirty fuel as the norm. Friends, they have challenged it. So basically this is not an assumption also, and not factually correct. They have not accepted, they are aware, and they have announced a plan also. So we cannot say that all the nations are accepted that dirty fuel as a norm. This is also not correct. Racism makes it easy for European to justify the exploitation of inferior races, right? This is an underlying assumption, though author is not explicitly stating that. By telling that African quality fuel is not fit for European humans, this shows that he is somehow giving us a connotation of racism here. That's why this is a underlying assumption that racism makes it easy for European people to justify their exporting of such lower quality of fuel to African countries. So this is my correct answer, the assumption. Moving ahead. Next, the size of oceanic waves is a function of velocity of wind and of fetch. Fetch is the length of the surface of water subject to those winds. Okay, so we are given a function. Let's write it here so that we remember. So size of oceanic waves, so SWO, is a function of velocity and of fetch. Now the average impact of waves against a coastline is a function of size of waves and the shape of sea bottom. Okay, now we are given the average impact of waves, so I'm going to write I, impact for I, and for average here. So impact is a function of size of the waves, so SWO, which is here, and the shape of the sea bottom, so shape of the sea bottom. Okay, the degree of erosion on coastline is a function of average impact of waves. Okay, let me write it here. So degree of erosion is a function of average impact, so I am given I average. And geologic composition of the coastline, so this is a new variable, so I'll write geological composition. Okay, now according to the paragraph, which of the following options will be true? The fetch of the wind, okay, so I'm talking about F, is related to the shape of the sea bottom. Okay, so if I put I average SWO here, so what will happen? I average will be equal to V, F and SSB. So now I know that the impact is a function of velocity, fetch and shape of the sea bottom. But can I say if that fetch is related to SB? No, it is in the same equation and not in an equality. So this is wrong. The size of oceanic waves will not fluctuate far from average. Okay, size of the waves is not going to fluctuate from far from average. Friends, I cannot deduce it through these equations, so this is also wrong. The size of oceanic waves is correlated with the shape of the sea bottom. Okay, so size of the oceanic waves is correlated with the shape of the sea bottom. Now I have this size and I have the shape of the sea bottom in this equation. But can I say that what is correlation basically? If this variable increases, this increases or decreases simultaneously. So I'm not sure if this will happen because it's not an equality. So this is also not correct. The degree of erosion on coastline, so I'm talking about this variable, is not related with the velocity of wind. Okay, let me simplify this equation. So DE is I average. So if I put the value of I average, I'm going to get shape, the shape of the sea bottom. Sorry, SW is the size, and SB is the shape, and is not related to velocity. So SW can be related as velocity and fetch. So yes, DE is actually related with velocity. This is also not correct. Degree of erosion on coastline is related to shape of sea bottom. Okay, so I have written this degree of erosion is related to shape of sea bottom, right? SSB is coming here, so this is right. So friends, you can try this on your own. This was a really easy question. Moving ahead. Indian religious and ethical space is different from that of Western countries. Okay, so this is a factual information we have been given. The Vedas, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, etc. enrich Indian religious and social space. Alright. Details of the treatment of human values and dharmas have a long tradition. So in India, in Indian culture, the human values and dharmas on a very important pedestal. They are often compared, contrasted and debated by the characters in the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. तो हम जब भी धर्म की बात करेंगे या वैल्यूज़ की बात करेंगे, we talk about रामायण और महाभारत. In this process, it has given birth to a tradition of dharma, which has been transferred from generation to generation. So ये धर्म generation से generation आगे भी बढ़ रहा है. Ethical discourse was not a one-time affair. From time to time, religious leaders from various regions of India nourished and strengthened Indian ethical arena. For example, all these examples are given, so you don't need to read them to save some time. Which of the following assumption will make the above paragraph redundant? Friends, जब भी आप इसको ऐसा statement देखें तो redundant से क्या meaning है ये समझिए. Whenever this word is given redundant, it means that we have to find an option which will make this paragraph unnecessary, not required, या इसको गलत प्रूफ कर दे. Alright, so ऐसा ऑप्शन हमको ढूंढना है. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं. All religious leaders mentioned in the paragraph preach the same message and it is transferred from one generation to the next. Friends, if this is true, this assumption is true, will this make the paragraph redundant? No, actually this has been given in the paragraph that this is happening. So this is not going to make my paragraph unnecessary or not required. Western religious spaces do not have details of treatment of principle of dharma. So basically this option is strengthening my paragraph. It is saying the same thing. So ये strengthen कर रहा है, redundant नहीं बना रहा है. Ramayana and Mahabharata have made it possible for religious leader to build the tradition, right? क्योंकि religious leader they take the help of all these Ramayana and Mahabharata and they tell us the correct way of living or values and tradition. So this is also not going to make my paragraph redundant. So these three options are wrong. Western civilization have been traversed by different kind of religious leaders. So this is not again making my paragraph unnecessary or redundant. This is also wrong. Western ethical and religious space has long tradition of treatment of values and dharma. Friends, this is perfectly right. Why? ये option कह रहा है कि Western countries में भी जो tradition है वो values और धर्म से related है. So हमें क्या बताया गया है कि Indian religion and ethical space is different from Western countries. पर अगर ये assumption सही है कि वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में भी एथिकल और रिलीजियस स्पेस में वैल्यूज एंड धर्म होते हैं, सो फर्स्ट लाइन गलत हो जाएगी बिकॉज हम डिफरेंट नहीं रहेंगे. सो दिस पैराग्राफ विल बिकम यूजलेस. ओके, सो हेंस माई करेक्ट आंसर इज ऑप्शन 5. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. नेक्स्ट, वर्ल्ड वाइड टोमेटो इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्रॉप्स because this crop can be adapted for cultivation in various environments ranging from tropical to alpine region. Okay, so tomato is really adaptive. Its cultivation area is now expanding worldwide into not so productive regions. Okay, so there is an expansion of area. Okay, on the other hand, traditional cultivation areas, ओके, सो जो पहले कल्टीवेशन होता था उनके एरियाज़ की बात हो रही है और उनको कंपेयर किया जा रहा है नए टाइप के एरियाज से. The most favorable for tomato cultivation with warm and dry climate are contracting. Okay, most favorable जो थे वो कम होते जा रहे हैं. Every year traditional cultivation area loses 2 million hectares of land. Okay, that's a lot. To environment factors such as salinity, drought and soil erosion. Okay, so in the new areas there is some growth, but in the traditional areas the area is actually reduced by 2 million hectares. Which of the following is a correct inference? Okay, so let's start with the first option. In recent year, per hectare production of tomato has increased worldwide. Okay, so I am given that there is an increase in the new areas, not so productive regions, there is an increase, but there is also a decrease in traditional areas, which is 2 million hectares. So I'll keep this option aside since it is half correct. Okay. In recent years, per hectare wastage of tomato has increased worldwide. I am not giving any information about wastage, so this is wrong. This option is also wrong because it is also talking about wastages. In recent year, per hectare production of tomato has decreased worldwide. So this is the next half of the first option, so I'll keep it aside. In recent year, per hectare production of tomato has remained the same worldwide. No, this is not given, and I cannot just say that it is constant because I am correctly given that it is decreased by 2 million and some part has increased also. Now out of these, option 1 and option 3, which seems to be more correct? To me, the third option seems to be more correct, because the traditional area is where most of the cultivation was happening, and since that area is reducing, so we can conclude that most of the area has actually reduced, because not so productive region are new regions which has started gradually to start the production, but traditional area is the one where they were from very past they were producing the tomato. So since traditional area has lost, we can infer that most of the area has been lost. So I'll go ahead with third option. Coming to the next question. So friends, here this is your assignment question as always, and I want you guys to please answer the question in the comment section. You can pause the video, read it here, and then answer it. So friends, with that we come to an end to this important critical reasoning session for XAT. I thank you all for watching this video till the end, and if the video was helpful, please like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Novation for more such important content on XAT, business awareness, current affairs, etc. And friends, I will request you to please visit novation.in and please donate to Novation अगर आपको Novation का content अच्छा लगता है. With that friends, I'll close today's session. So I'll meet you again next time. Until then, bye bye and please take care.